Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a viewer, thanks to Rhea Skies for this one. Amy taps Delighted Halfling for black mana, and then uses that mana to cast Isildur's Fateful Strike against Nick's Grizzly Bears, while Nick has 5 cards in hands. Nick sacrifices the bear in response. What happens? Okay, so the first thing that I want to point out here is that Amy can't just take that mana and use it to cast a legendary instant unless she also meets the casting requirements. The reminder text on Isildur's Faithful Strike references this rule here, which says that you need to control a legendary creature or planeswalker in order to cast a legendary instant. Delighted Halfling's legendary mana will not let you ignore this restriction. And because I know some people are probably curious about this one, that's the only time when the game makes that check. Once Isildur's Fateful Strike is cast, it will resolve entirely normally, even if you kill Amy's only legendary creature in response. So, okay, with that background covered, let's take a look at the situation from our original problem statement. If you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you're probably already familiar with this rule here, which says that if all of a spell's targets are illegal when it tries to resolve, then it will not resolve and none of its effects will happen. That's very thematically similar to countering the spell, but it's not quite the same thing. As you can see, the rule does not use the word counter to describe what's happening. So even though the physical actions that you take are the same as the ones that you would take if the spell was countered, that does not interact at all with anything that looks for a spell to be countered, because that's just not what's happening here. This is exactly the same reason why Indestructible will save you from taking lethal damage, but not from having 0 toughness. The rule that makes lethally damaged creatures die specifically uses the word destroy, so Indestructible stops it. The rule that kills 0 toughness creatures, however, does not, so Indestructible will do nothing in that case. This gives us the answer to our original question then. Isildur's Fateful Strike will be put into Amy's graveyard, and Nick does not have to exile a card from his hand. Now, if this ruling took you by surprise, I can think of a good reason why that might be. It turns out that there was in fact a point in Magic's history where this rule that removes spells with illegal targets from the stack actually did use the word counter to describe what was going on. This is the reason why some older cards say that they can't be countered by spells or abilities, whereas other cards, even ones from the same set, just say that they can't be countered. Now that there's no way for the game rules to counter a spell anymore, there's no reason to use different templates, and all the new versions of those cards just say that they can't be countered, just like all the other ones. This didn't change any rulings though. So if, for example, you were to play an Abrupt Decay against a Grizzly Bears and its controller gave it Hexproof or protection from green in response, then the Abrupt Decay would still be put into your graveyard without doing anything. Like we said before, this does not count as countering Abrupt Decay anymore, so the fact that Abrupt Decay can't be countered doesn't help you out any. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.